Preparation of salts. Salts may be soluble in water or they may be insoluble. The methods used for preparation of salts are based on the knowledge of the solubility of salts. The solubility chart given below also includes the solubility of bases, that is, oxides and hydroxides. Solubility chart. All compounds of potassium, sodium and ammonium are soluble. All nitrates and nitrites are soluble. All chlorides are soluble. Exception: mercurous chloride, silver chloride, lead chloride. PbCl2, lead chloride, is soluble in hot water. All sulfates are soluble. Exception: barium sulfate, calcium sulfate, lead sulfate. All carbonates and sulfides are insoluble. Exception: carbonates and sulfides of K positive, potassium, Na positive, sodium, NH4 positive. All oxides and hydroxides are insoluble. Exception: oxides and hydroxides of K positive, potassium, Na positive, sodium, NH4 positive. Preparation of soluble salts. Soluble salts can be prepared by direct combination of elements, simple displacement and double decomposition. Synthesis: anhydrous iron 3 chloride. Powdered iron is taken in a combustion tube. It is heated and dry chlorine is allowed to pass over it. Chlorine reacts with heated iron to form ferric chloride. Ferric chloride volatilizes and condenses in the receiver as brown scales. Since the reaction is exothermic, heating is discontinued soon after the iron starts glowing. Excess chlorine escapes through the exit tube. Simple displacement. Zinc sulfate. About 40 cubic centimeter of dilute sulfuric acid is taken in a beaker. 5 grams of zinc granules is added to the solution. Hydrogen gas is liberated and an effervescence is produced. Filter the contents of the beaker to remove unused zinc and other impurities. The filtrate is then heated and evaporated to the point of crystallization. On cooling, we obtain the needle-shaped crystals of white vitriol, ZnSO4 7H2O. The crystals are dried between folds of a filter paper. Double decomposition. Copper sulfate. Dilute sulfuric acid is warmed in a beaker. Copper carbonate is added to the acid and stirred. Copper oxide or copper hydroxide can also be used. The solution obtained is filtered. The filtrate is evaporated to the point of crystallization. On cooling, blue crystals of hydrated copper sulfate, CuSO4, 5H2O, blue vitriol are formed. The crystals are dried between the folds of a filter paper. Preparation of sodium sulfate. Dilute H2SO4 sulfuric acid is filled in a burette up to the 0 cubic centimeter mark. 25 cubic centimeter of sodium hydroxide is pipetted out into a conical flask. The sodium hydroxide is made pink by adding a few drops of phenolphthalein. The acid is added dropwise from the burette into the alkali until the pink just changes to colorless. This is the end point. The contents of the flask is transferred into an evaporating dish and is heated to the point of crystallization. The crystals of hydrated sodium sulfate formed are dried between the folds of a filter paper. Preparation of insoluble salts. Insoluble salts can be prepared by direct combination of elements, and also by double decomposition. Synthesis: iron to sulfide. Powdered iron and powdered sulfur are taken in a test tube. Heat the mixture. The sulfur melts and the contents in the test tube glow vigorously since the reaction is exothermic. When the glow subsides, the test tube is cooled. A greyish mass of iron to sulfide is obtained. PbNO3 twice. Lead nitrate reacts with 2HCl hydrochloric acid giving lead chloride PbCl2 and nitric acid 2HNO3. PbNO3 twice lead nitrate reacts with 2NaCl sodium chloride giving lead chloride PbCl2 and sodium nitrate 2NaNO3. Precipitation lead chloride. Add hydrochloric acid to a solution of lead nitrate and stir the mixture. A white precipitate of lead chloride is formed. The precipitate is filtered. It is washed repeatedly with distilled water. The precipitate is then dissolved in minimum quantity of water and boiled. The hot solution on cooling gives needle-shaped crystals of lead chloride. The crystals are dried between the folds of a filter paper.